stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the prayer.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bless us, Lord, as we gather today for this freeholder meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so we may work together for the good of our community. Help us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decision. Amen. Amen. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. Also pursuant to the 2019 bylaws, rules, and regulations of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington, time shall be set aside on the agenda for the receipt of public comments. Public comments will be received with respect to the agenda items prior to the Board's consideration of resolutions to be adopted. An additional opportunity for public comment will occur later in the meeting. Public comments shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Unused time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons may speak once per public comment period. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting this public announcement in advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Hobson? Here. Freeholder O'Connell?
Here.
Freeholder Singh?
Here.
Tiver and Director Pauline are absent.
Thank you, Eve. So just want to say again, Freeholder Tiver and Director Pauline are both on their prior much-needed family vacation. So this is spring break for a lot of the high school. So there are 3 of us today, which in my year and a half never has been the situation, I think. There were at least 4 of these. Okay. So at this time, I'll be looking for a motion for the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
For April 10th, and then conference meeting also on the same.
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
All right. So let's move on to the recognitions. Do we have our county college in the house? Yes, we do. At this point, Freeholder Hobson, liaison to the county college, is going to read the statement and then issue a proclamation on behalf of the board.
The Freeholder Board wishes to recognize Rowan College at Burlington County in honor of National Community College Month. April is National Community College Month, a time to recognize and spread awareness of the hard work and achievement happening every day on community college campuses. According to the American Association of Community Colleges, there are more than 12 million students enrolled in community colleges across the country. These institutions serve an incredibly diverse student population and put millions of people's educational and career goals within reach. RCBC's 3+1 Innovative Program allows RCBC students to earn high-quality 4-year degrees for under $30,000, far less than what many colleges charge for a single year, and illustrates how Burlington County is a true leader when it comes to making college more affordable. Every dollar invested in Rowan College at Burlington County returns more than $20 to student income, tax revenue, and societal benefits, according to the new economic modeling study completed by MC, an international labor market and analytics firm. The Freeholder Board does hereby proclaim April 2019 to be National Community College Month and thanks Rowan College at Burlington County for putting higher education within reach of thousands of Burlington County students and their families, and for its impact on Burlington County at large. At this time, I would like to welcome our CBC's President, Dr. Mike Ciosi, and Student Government Association Vice President, Brian, say your last name.
Savage.
Got it. So please join me over here.
Sure.
Would you like to say anything about this?
I'm actually going to concede the floor to Brian. He's one of our 3+1 students.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, per the AACC data that you shared, community colleges educate over 40% of the nation's students. I see a couple of prospective students in the front row here, so we'll talk to you guys in a couple of months, maybe about registering. Fall registration is currently open, but we thank you for recognizing RCBC and National Community College Month, And Brian, maybe he wants to say a couple things about the student experience.
Sure, I mean, at my time at RCBC, which has amounted to about 3 years at this point, I can say that with great confidence that the programs have been amazingly consistent in their performance. I mean, if it hadn't been, I wouldn't have stayed on for the 3 years I had. And I can say I look forward with the great pleasure of moving on to my 4th year at Rowan University.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. So, just to share a quick story, I had no idea how to pronounce your last name.
Yeah.
So we are all up here trying to figure it out phonetically. I was still unsuccessful. We're trying to say it. So just say it for me one more time.
Sasevich.
Sasevich. So we were
All wrong.
kind of wrong. Kind of wrong. No, but thank you though. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh.
Picture, of course.
Thank you. Thank you guys for being here.
Sure.
All right, thank you, President and Studio Vice President. At this point, I would be recognizing Freeholder O'Connell for his recognition of the Girl Scout Troop 20737. Do we have the troop in the audience?
Yes, we do.
Very good.
We have a very special group with us here this evening. Brownie Girl Scout Troop from Burlington Township, made up of 10 third graders, decided that as a part of their cookie sales this year, they would earn their give back badge and donate 15% of their sales to the Burlington County Animal Shelter. The troop donated $283. On behalf of myself and the entire Freeholder Board, our sincere thanks to you young ladies for this very generous donation. And at this time, I'd like to invite you up, as well as if your parents are here or whoever else is here, to come up to receive your proclamations. Hello, how are you? Thank you for coming. Hi, how are you? Just kind of gather around, like a campfire or something. I'll read one of these certificates, and then after that, if you don't mind, I'll just read your names. Is that okay? If it's not okay, we can read them all and keep these people here all night. You want to do that? You don't want to do that either. Okay. Certificate of Achievement, recognizing for donation of $283 to the Burlington County Animal Shelter, Brownie Troop 20737. Is Emma Ryba here? Hello, Emma. That's for you. You're welcome. Thank you. And is Katie McLaren here? Hi, Katie. There you go. Congratulations and thank you. Okay. Maddie Matuskevich? I got the last part, but I'm not so sure. How do you pronounce your last name? Matuskevich? I was close, huh? Okay. Congratulations. Leah Margot? Oh. Is that not right? It is? Okay. Congratulations, Ernie. Kaylin Gordon?
She's not.
Okay, we'll make sure we get that to her. Thanks. Annika Garner? Hi, thank you very much. Elizabeth Cucuzella. I wonder who this could be. Hello, thank you very much. Sydney Kane? There you go. Thank you, Sydney. Skyle Bila Lee?
I don't think that's not here.
Oh, okay. Has everybody got a? If everybody's got one, then these are.
Yep. And then we have something for you. What do you have, Sydney? You can give them.
Yeah, just what Danny needs. These girls I'm starting to resemble this. I'd like to thank the girls, the Brownie Troop again, and as well as their advisors and family members. It's a wonderful thing you guys are doing for the animal shelter. It helps us to provide for the animals, so thanks an awful lot. And thanks again for coming out. Okay. For all the cookies.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Who's the troop leader here?
And Amy Riva.
Very good, very good.
Thank you too. Thank you very much. Yeah.
introduce me, but it's still a Freeholder.
Very good, very good. Thank you so much for the donation to our 4 Lake friends. Okay, at this point, we're going to recognize our retirees for, let's see, everybody has 25 years or more of service to this county, to our residents. So I'm going to go through one at a time. So if we could please come up, and then if we have immediate supervisors or administration of those departments, please join your colleagues in recognition. Thank you. Thaddeus Drummond says, Thaddeus. Drummond. All righty, please come in.
Don't bite.
Thank you so much to service to our department and the county, and of course we have our first assistant prosecutor and our prosecutor. Thank you so much. So I have let's not hide in the corner. So I have this for you, the recognition, and of course you earn a clock. You know, I think it's every single time I see from my position, all the individuals that we have or other freeholders have given the clocks to. I'm in the public service myself. I always look at that and think, wow, that long of time that you spent in this county and the institutional knowledge that we will be without once you depart. There's a loss on our side, but I wish you the best in your retirement.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Scott, would you like to say a few words?
I'm not prepared, but I don't need to be to talk about Tad. Tad has been just an absolutely instrumental contributor to our office for 25 years, almost indispensable. He's handled some of the toughest assignments that we have, and those that require incredible delicacy and judgment and character and smart decision making and good lawyering and good advice to our local departments. Good advice to us. So when they talk about a prosecutor, what keeps you up at night, and the types of things that Tad does would keep me up at night, but I have Tad, or I've had Tad, and that helps me sleep well at night. So we're going to miss him incredibly because he's made an incredible contribution to the office. He's an incredible person, and we're just very sad to see him go, but happy for him, and we wish him all the best.
Thank you.
Over here.
Thank you very much.
Love you, thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you for your guys. No, I'm done.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Left my agenda on the side. Let me recognize Freeholder O'Connell. He's going to recognize our next retiree, Wilmina Alice, Principal Timekeeper, for her 32 years of service.
I'd like to present this token of our appreciation to Wilhelmina L. Ellis and our sincere thanks for services rendered at the Department of Corrections Juvenile Detention Center. After 32 years, we hope you enjoy a well-deserved retirement.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Wait a minute, come back. Don't leave just yet. Would you like to say anything on behalf of
I just want to thank Miss Ellis for all her years of service at juvenile detention. She started out at Burlington County Adult Jail and came to us, and we're going to miss you. We wish you the best, and we hope you enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So unfortunately, the warden was planning to be here to say a few words, but unfortunately he had another event that he had to get out and could not make it. Thank you. At this time, Freeholder Hobson will recognize Ronald Haywood for his 25 years of service to our
Congratulations. What an amazing honor. I'm a little jealous. But thank you so much for your dedication to the county for this many years.
Thank you.
Would you like to say anything?
I thank you for the opportunity to serve this county all these years. It's been a pleasure, and I'm glad to go. Thank you, Sergeant.
Officer Hayward's been wonderful. We've worked together for a long time. Today at detention, we had a little luncheon, and the kids honored him as well. The young people are going to miss him greatly, and he's taught them a lot. And we thank you for your years of service, and we're going to miss you.
Thank you.
And enjoy your retirement.
Yes, enjoy. Enjoy.
All right. Freeholder O'Connell, would you like to recognize Robert Lyons, Coordinator for Maintenance Services, for his 25 years of service to this county?
Hi, Robert.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
My pleasure.
I retired in 16 after 42 and a half years. You'll
Really?
love it. You'll love it. In appreciation, the Burlington County Board of Chosen Freeholders presents to Robert M. Lyons.
No,
our
P.
Robert P. Lyons, excuse me, and offers sincere thanks for services rendered as a resource conservation in the Park Department. Best of luck.
Thank you.
These gentlemen.
Well, Bobby started with the county in 1996, and he worked for 2 years before we took him from B&G into the county park system. The county park system was Smithville, and you've heard earlier this evening as to what the county park system has become. And I can honestly say that we could never have gotten to where we are today if it wasn't for Bobby. He's been a very loyal employee, hard worker, dedicated, and we will greatly miss him.
Oh, thank you. Just for putting up with me. I mean, I know you all have to be honest, but you know, we bump noses occasionally, but it came out great. And I cherish the fact that I got to serve everyone in the county, because we just don't do the Parks Department, at any rate. But first and foremost, all the glory to God.
Congratulations.
I didn't mean upstate.
No, you did not at all. Just a quick story I think would describe Bobby. When I first started with parks, I was new, a bit of a fish out of water, and I did a quick walkthrough of Smithville Park, and I just mentioned, wow, that fence looks a little askew. The next time I walked through, probably a couple days later, there was a brand new shiny fence out there. And Bobby is like that. He's a fixer. You say something needs to be done, and you don't have to say it twice. It's done, and it's always been that way. And we're truly going to miss that in the Parks Department.
Thank you.
You're going to be missed.
We're a pretty close-knit family.
That's quiet, I can see that.
Can I
That's
get
a
that
great
with an
thing.
8.5 bunch?
Can I get a
Wait,
picture?
we gotta come back. Always gotta have a picture.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. And then one. Thank you.
Perfect.
I'm thinking you wanna
Thanks
do the
again.
parks, right?
Please.
All the best of your time.
Our parks are, the best in the state, I would say. And we have so many, and thanks to staff like Robert, keeping up with all of the maintenance in our parks. All right, at this point, we're going to go into the public comments. Public comment is limited to items on the tonight's agenda. Anyone who wishes to speak on any other topic will have a chance to speak at the end of the session. Please note this is a public comment and your opportunity to provide us with an input and feedback. This is not a question and answer forum. A reminder, please, each speaker, you may only come up once during each portion. And do we have anyone? I do actually have two names. Louis, you are first. Welcome, sir.
Working about the Freeholders. How's it feel to be director for one day?
Yeah, wow. As I said, this is not a Q&A. Yeah. I am always substituting for our director.
Revolution 14, 15, and 20.
Okay.
Is that fun?
One second. You said 14?
15, and 20.
Okay. I'm gonna respond to these at the end once I'm done taking questions and see if what we can respond or we need to have somebody else after we respond. Okay. Anything else you have? Any questions?
Oh, that's it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. Next we have Lori Howard.
Hello, how are you?
Hello. Welcome.
So, I have a question about M2. Can you answer it?
I'm sorry. Which one?
M2. I just want to know what type of projects.
Let me take all the questions and then we will. Yes, we can definitely answer.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Right, agenda, right?
yay. And
Carol Melvin,
yeah.
Springfield. M2, M14, M15, I have M9.
Okay.
So you want to do them all at once?
Yeah, probably. Okay, thank you. Anybody else, questions on agenda items? Okay, all right, let's see. So M2, that's the ordinance we are putting out at front, about $15 million. We plan to recoup all of that money through our federal funding. This is for ongoing projects within the Resource Conservation Department, trails, improvements from Mount Arney over there to Burlington Fieldsboro area and the Lanco, Pennington Park and Amico Park. So this is the money we're gonna put out right now, but we get all of it back in federal funding.
But all resource conservation.
Yes. Okay. M9. So this is our Human Services building. We have a lot of users in that building. We are trying to figure out how to effectively use our spaces within there, if depending on the residents' needs, if we need to move certain departments to the front of the building versus toward the back, or we need to move some departments to the bottom of the building instead of having them on the 6th or 7th floor. So that's a study to look at all of those moving parts and other people that use it outside our own county departments.
But to leave everything inside the building.
There is no intention to move anybody out. This is really to for better efficiency purposes. Okay. All right, M14 and M15 are related to the M2. Yeah, these are so once we have the money, these are these two of the projects that we plan to work on. These are all trails. The Rain Caucus Creekway we're trying to expand, and the other one is the Pennington and Amico Park. All right, last one, M20. This is thanks to our department always keeping an eye on all the grants available to us. So we're able to get some of the money from the state department to provide the HIV and STD testing. This is done all out of the health department. I think they have fixed number of hours there. People can come in there, make appointments, or to do all the testing. So this is just a grant that covers our costs. Anything else? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. At this point, I'm going to move the items M1 through M15. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Hobson on the motion. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
There's no opposition, abstentions, and ayes have it. Freeholder Hobson.
Thank you, Deputy Director. I move items M16 through M19 with unanimous consent.
Yep, second by O'Connell on the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Alrighty, Freeholder O'Connell.
Freeholder Director, I'd like to move items M20 through M26 by unanimous consent.
Second. And on the motion. And okay. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. All right, at this point, I'm going to do the appointments to our local advisory council on alcoholism and drug abuse. Let me- Okay. Harriet Cohen, I see she's in attendance here. Smart Laurel, Jim Warner, Gino Barsby, Kathleen Riker, Melissa O'Mara, Todd Worth, Barbara Biglin, David Winborn, David Romano, Kim Maxson, Jim Melvin, Joanne Trespe, Dave Roden, and Kevin Tomsello. Okay, so first of all, for those that are here and were appointed on this council, thank you for your time. Thank you for stepping up and volunteering for the county. This is a few nights that you have to take out of your time and your family to kind of come to our buildings and to look at how we can best serve our county. So thank you so much for that. Okay, questions from the press? Okay, at this point we open the floor back for public comments. Anybody likes to make comments? Okay. Mr. Lopez.
Good evening. I just got a few questions. What's the future building of the election office by the Burlington Lumberton? What's the future of that building?
I'm sorry, which building?
The building, election building in Lumberton, next to Burlington.
Next to Burger King.
The county building.
The old superintendent of.
Oh, the old superintendent of elections?
Yeah.
The building right now, as I believe it's really, really needs a lot of repairs. We're looking at really just having it not like fall down, and we had to move our, I know, voting machines out of there, rent a different facility.
Yeah, I know that.
It's all, in works.
Since November last year.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, we have other insurance matters going on.
Since the last year was used on November of last year, that's right?
Yeah, at that point, yeah, the board of, Board of Elections, they moved right across the street from us. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just curious. I was one of the person who moved the election machine to a different location.
We did, nobody else. We moved them for safety.
Yeah, I'm working in a company.
He did.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Oh, you work for the company. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for keeping those machines safe.
Yeah, no, I was curious. What is in the back of the building? Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Wow, it was a nice backyard. I was amazed. First time seeing, clear. And I think that is one thing to everybody for to appreciate they comment. I mean, on the last 300 meetings, they came to our they was a thanks. And one last question. Have anybody seen the Lumberton Township meeting, the last one?
Which one?
Lumberton Township meeting.
Burlington?
No, Lumberton.
Lumberton.
Oh, Lumberton.
No,
I have.
I wonder if you could do the same thing at Lumberton Township being dead. Yeah, like future youth go to a freeholder meeting, like one each. Yeah,
Oh, that's a
Easter
good
egg.
idea. I've seen it. Yeah,
Yeah,
students
I've
go
seen
in,
it.
become a mayor for a day.
Yeah,
Marlboro does it too.
Yeah.
I remember.
is there any way you could do that in a future freeholder meetings?
Yeah.
We could certainly discuss it.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us.
I wouldn't mind not sitting in this seat for a day.
Oh yeah, I would love to see that. Like, all the county is, county should able to do that. To
That's a
have
neat
a
suggestion. Thank
calculation.
you, Lois. We'll have to ponder on that and see how to work that into our schedule and how to, have a school, where we invite a school and then go through all that.
Would there be any information on the Burlington County, Burlington College or pool of any information?
Whatever the Director Pauline has said before, I don't have any new updates from that. I have not heard of any.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, next, please.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for having the opportunity to speak today. I know it's comments from the public, so I do appreciate it. I was in a meeting earlier this week where the person tried to tell the public they couldn't really comment if someone had already talked about something, so I'm glad that we don't have that type of stipulation.
State your name for the record,
I'm so sorry.
just for the
I just-
record, we know.
That's my fault. I should have asked
Lori
you.
Howard and Kettlebrook Drive in Mount Laurel.
We have Lois's address, right? Lois's address. We already have that.
Okay. So I know it's been 4 years since the bridge is closed, and everyone up here today was not here 4 years ago when the bridge was closed. I know you've heard a number of different complaints throughout the years about the bridge. And again, I don't know what's going to happen. Always I have the hope that it will be rebuilt. I think the things that really do just give me a little bit of pause and keep pushing me to come is because I really don't know what type of commitment there is to address issues within the county that allowed this to occur in the first place. So that would be looking to see, if you're going to close something, don't keep putting money into it. That's a waste of taxpayer dollars. If you have something, taxpayers should not find out at the last minute that something's going to happen. But we're going to close it, especially if, a county knew that they were going to do this prior to. The transparency issue. So if someone can't come to this meeting, I shouldn't be the one telling people what's happening. So if you have a Facebook page, you have a Twitter account, you obviously work with the press. So just think of ways of getting information out to people, because if they're not at this meeting, that should not be, you're not here, you just don't know. So if the public doesn't have a chance to find out what you're doing, I'm aware people don't read the papers like they used to. I try my best to support the newspapers, but we have to think about different ways of getting information out to the citizens. And also it's the whole point of the equity of how funding is given to different towns throughout the county. I don't know if it's a subconscious thing, but I hear repeatedly from people of all different backgrounds, ethnicities, that this really seems like it's segregating a population. That they feel like a Berlin Wall has been placed up, and I think unfortunately because a lot of people just have become used to being treated poorly, they really just say, well, why do you expect things to be any different? But myself and just, my mom's here today, I just wasn't brought up not to question things, so I will continue to question. But I just wanted to share some things with you from the past year since you weren't here. There's a woman who wrote a letter, her name is Joanne Contrati. She wrote a letter 3 years ago that she had me read. So I checked back in with her and I said, well, how have you been adjusting these past 3 years? In terms of what I'm going to discuss with you, nothing has changed for her. So I just want to read that to give you guys another insight. She said, I'm sorry that I can't attend the meeting tonight. Rebuilding the Centerton Bridge is extremely important to my family and me. We live in Burlington Township. Most of our doctors are in Mount Laurel and we shop at Costco and Wegmans. I live with my husband and 2 active boys, ages 12 and 8 years old. I'm a licensed physical therapist and board certified in clinical neurophysiology. But unfortunately, I was diagnosed with CIDP, which is chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, 2 years ago, which presents similar to multiple sclerosis with weakness, loss of sensation, and fatigue. I can no longer work and I no longer feel safe driving on 295. I can drive comfortably for 20 to 30 minutes on good days. But I fear being on the highway just in case she doesn't feel well. The closing of the Centerton Bridge has really impacted my family. My husband works long hours and I cannot always ask for a ride for myself and my children. So unfortunately, we have to pick and choose what we go to. These changes are often difficult to explain to your children. If there's any way possible to rebuild this bridge, it will have a huge impact on our lives. It is very hard to go from an able, active body to being disabled. No one ever thinks it is going to happen to them, especially when you grow up with strong work ethic and are extremely independent. I used to advocate for my patients for years. Now, unfortunately, I have to advocate for myself. When a chronic progressive illness affects a mother with young children, it can be very upsetting at times trying to keep it all together. She goes, there's anything that you can do to make it happen, And the one thing she wanted me to add is, with the number of warehouses being built, which is great, and bringing more jobs into the county, it's also impacting Route 295. So I know that's not directly what you guys handle, but just in terms of the discussions you're having with people at the state, federal level. Building the warehouses is great, but how's that? Well, it is going to be impacting our traffic and roads. And again, it's not a county tax that we're paying; it's a federal tax. In addition, I also wanted to share some comments that.
Give you about 5 seconds.
What do I want to say? So basically, I want to say someone told me last night, and I talked fast, that they're building building hospital, Virtua, West Hampton, and they had some concerns about the bridge closure and in terms of making sure that there's access to that. So I think with me, access and equity is really what I'm focused on, and I just ask that you, if someone's impacted, such as senior citizen, think about what you can do to help that senior who's no longer to make it to custody. So I just want to see a little bit more commitment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's something more important.
My son can get this call later. Sorry about that. Carol Melvin, Springfield. I'm just going to add on to the Centerton Bridge. If it's going to be, I'm going to stop it. If it's going to be rebuilt, please rebuild it for cars and pedestrians. Otherwise, don't rebuild it, because it's not worth the cost to rebuild it with for just pedestrians is not worth it, not for the number of people who will use it. So I'm just going to add my weight to that. Let's go back to Pemberton campus. Our CBC has still not answered how much it will take to run a completely shut down Pemberton campus and how many years they're willing to do so before they dump the property. So, has the county independently determined how much it would cost to take the Pemberton campus, how much it costs to run just the athletic building? Has the county applied for any federal or state grants for the Pemberton campus? Because you have Ordinance M2, which involves state and federal grants for trails, resource conservation. You have M1415 for the Rancocas Creek Greenway, which I will add, the Rancocas Creek is the dividing line for the Pemberton campus. Pemberton campus ties directly into what the county says it's going to be doing. So those are my 2 questions there, and the last question is the Smithville Bridge. Do we have an opening date yet? Anyone? Smithville Bridge.
I'll look at those at the end. Just address us for now. Just get all the comments and questions out.
Do you have any information on Pemberton campus, or still no?
Is that it?
That's it for my questions.
Okay. All right. I'll address these during my comments.
Should I stand here for 5 minutes?
No,
I can talk about Centerton Bridge.
Please, you have a seat. We'll address
I'm
it.
trying to be nice.
All right. Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Michael Tame, Southampton Township, or Wrinkle City. I'm here tonight because I'd like to thank the board for appointing Dr. Conaway to the Health Department. People don't realize in Burlington County, they don't realize what a health department does. It touches everybody during their lifetime, indirectly or directly, in some aspect. And I believe for filling the director there, that health department is going to go a long way over the coming years. It's a very important function. Other departments, you read them in the paper constantly, what they're doing, this and that. But when it comes to the health department, they're off on a corner and nobody realizes exactly what they do every day. And they affect everybody in this county. It's a very important department. Matter of fact, your health is most important because if you don't have it, those departments don't mean anything. The other thing, on this Burlington County College campus, with it. The suggestion was that you appoint a board to give you input. I think it's a great suggestion because it gives transparency to the whole process. So no matter what decision the board makes eventually, the people are aware of the numbers and what's going on. And I think it's a very simple process. You could do it. Every freeholder appoint two people to a board. The director appoints 4, and he sits on it, and they have a chair, they have a co-chair, the director plus people from the board on it. And you have 2 meetings, maybe 10 days apart. You get your numbers together, you get your input, and you're done. And then the board takes over and makes a decision. They'd have no power whatsoever. It's a simple resolution, could take care of it. But I think that's the way you have transparency. Otherwise, this issue is going to carry on for a long time, no matter how you vote on it. And I believe it's the best way. Open it up, get input. Let them give you input. Let them be part of getting the numbers together, that you see the numbers. Have 2 meetings. Have it at the County Museum on High Street. Let the public attend it. So it's wide open. There's no secret about anything, and everybody sees what's going on and the problems. The cost if the county took it over, the cost if they don't take it over. It's very simple, and I think you should do it. Show some transparency in government with the county freeholders. It's very important. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to comment. My name is Ryan Breck. I'm with Pinelands Preservation Alliance. Pinelands Preservation Alliance, or PPA, is an environmental nonprofit. It's not surprising, I'm sure, that our organization opposes the Southern Reliability Link pipeline. Perhaps the assumption is that groups like ours have a blanket opposition to all pipelines without considering the details of each individual project, just for the purpose of protecting plants and wildlife. And while PPA, and certainly I, could spend my entire 5 minutes arguing the merits of preserving plants and wildlife, it's also true that this particular pipeline presents unique issues. So I would like just to take a few minutes to summarize PPA's specific arguments against the SRL. This will be a reminder to some, but perhaps some will be hearing it for the first time. First, the SRL pipeline is illegal. It violates the Comprehensive Management Plan, which are the regulations that govern the Pinelands, which clearly states that development of this type on the Joint Base McGuire-Dix-Lake Karst is only allowed if it is, quote, associated with the function of the facility. The SRL pipeline is only traversing the base. It will not connect to the base's own pipes. It's merely moving gas through. Second, the pipeline is not needed. Neither New Jersey Natural Gas, nor the Board of Public Utilities, nor the Pinelands Commission conducted or required any reliability analysis showing that the SRL is needed to provide reliable service, which is the entirety of New Jersey Natural Gas's argument for the pipeline. In fact, independent expert reports demonstrate that the pipeline is in fact not needed. Third, SRL's route runs through 2 Superfund sites on the Joint Base. You may have seen in the news recently that there's been much discussion in New Jersey specifically about PFASs, perfluorinated compounds that have been documented at dangerous levels on the Joint Base. These chemicals have been linked to cancers, low birth weight, liver damage, weakened immune system, and thyroid damage. When PPA raised the point that the SRL was certain to encounter these areas of contamination and alter the movement of them in the groundwater, the Air Force responded with a statement that, quote, based on the current information, it cannot be determined if PFC contaminated groundwater would be encountered within the project study area, end quote. Cannot be determined. You and your residents drink water from the Kirkwood-Carhansey aquifer. Does that statement give you confidence that this project won't spread the contaminants? And I haven't even gotten to the negative impacts on plants and wildlife, the protections of which were failed to be met in the plans of this pipeline, nor have I touched on the procedural and ethical violations wrapped up in this project, And of course, there are the safety concerns associated with natural gas pipelines. We've all heard the news stories from around the country about leaks and explosions. A few weeks ago, New Jersey Natural Gas filed petitions with the BPU already to increase the rates on their customers, in part to pay for the SRL, which isn't even complete and is certainly not in operation yet. So brazen is their confidence that the SRL is inevitable, which seems incredible given that at least 9 lawsuits and an incomplete set of approvals are the conditions surrounding this project. This board has voiced its opposition to the pipeline along with public who show up meeting after meeting to implore you to not yield to the pressure of massive corporate interests and to implore you to deny a pipeline that has no purpose beyond generating revenue and profits for utilities on the backs of ratepayers. You have the authority to hold this pipeline at bay, at least until the courts have had the opportunity to consider the appeals against the project and to see the evidence of the arguments that I summarized. You have the authority to stand up for the health, safety, and well-being of your residents and of the natural resources of Burlington County. It's your duty and it's what we expect of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm Harriet Cohen from Mount Laurel. First of all, I'd like to say I am honored and humbled to have been appointed to the LACADA, and I appreciate you having faith in me to help with that board. As a retired social worker who worked in this county for many years and then went on to other positions in other counties, I have to tell you that I am extremely impressed with all that we are doing through our Social Service and Human Services Department. I come to these meetings and each month I see we're giving money to another group of people that need our assistance. This time it's for HIV testing for special children. I know that we're trying to do more for the homeless. We've done a lot with opiate abuse. We support the county's special services. I would like, under your tenure on the Freeholder Board, to educate the community as to the kind of things we do. Even when you talk to people about what a freeholder does, I don't think most people, including myself, have any idea the kind of services that we provide. And I would like that for several reasons. First of all, to the community to understand how their tax dollars are being used, but also as a way of people in need understanding that we do have the services and they can have better access to them if they are informed. So I would hope that somehow that information can be conveyed. And thank you very much for all that you're doing for all the people in need. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, all right. So at this point, we're going to enter the public comments and by comments by freeholders. Freeholder O'Connell.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. It was a slow 2 weeks between meetings. I only attended 6 events, and I just want to highlight a couple of them. I know Dr. Cioshi left, but I wanted to thank him for the college hosting a job fair last week. I stopped by and saw many companies taking applications from people and not even necessarily hiring people, but allowing the students an opportunity to see what it might be like to go through an application process or a hiring process, submitting resumes and things like that. It was quite a few companies there. They do this, I think they said 2 or 3 times a year. I look forward to going back when they do it again. I see the sheriff here. I want to thank her for the invitation to us freeholders to come out to the Egg Hunt at the Special Services School on April 13th. There were a lot of kids there. There were a lot of people that volunteered their time. I'm thinking of the therapy chicken and the people who came and brought trucks, and the fire company that was there that allowed children to climb up in the cab of the rigs. It was a nice event, Sheriff, and I really appreciated the invitation. I think Scott has left, but I wanted to thank our prosecutor again for inviting me to a statewide resiliency training program. You may have heard me talk about this previously. Right now, Burlington County is the only county that has this resiliency training for its police officers. The Attorney General has made it known he wants this program to be spread across the state, and this was the kickoff meeting attended by several of the stakeholder groups, Department of Corrections, state police, local jurisdictions, on what they kind of want to see this program look like going forward, and I appreciated the invitation. And then finally, I just want to remind everybody, this Saturday is the Barbara Feldstein Memorial Raining Cats and Dogs Pet Fest. That's going to be held from 11 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon this Saturday. It's in its 7th year. It'll be held out by the Burlington County Animal Shelter. And the event is held in the name of Barbara Feldstein, who passed away in December of 2015. Her passion was her dedication to the caring for and loving of animals. She was a New Jersey certified animal cruelty investigator, a New Jersey certified animal control officer, a past volunteer and board member of the Friends of the Burlington County Animal Shelter, and a volunteer and a board member of the Burlington County SPCA. So I hope we have good weather on Saturday, and I hope some of you can come out to see us. There'll be animals there for adoption as well as other things, and bring the kids. Freeholder Director, that's my report.
Thank you, Freeholder O'Connell. Freeholder Hobson.
Thank you, Deputy Director. Good evening, everyone. I just want to remind everybody about the Women's Advisory Council Awards Banquet. Our banquet will be Tuesday, June 11th. Hopefully you all can attend. Please follow us at Burlington County Women for regular updates about what's going on with the Women's Advisory Council. We're looking forward to doing a lot of partnerships, and we're going to be talking about new initiatives that we're going to try to roll out this year. Ms. Howard, I agree, we do need to improve communication, and I think that you will see improvement. But in the meantime, if you know of anyone that's looking for specific information, they can always email us or call here. You can email freeholders@co.burlington.nj.us if you're looking for something specific, and we'll make sure we try to get the information for you if it's not where it should be, or if there's not enough information. So I think, you know, we can all be good stewards of our county. We can all be brand ambassadors for our county. So oftentimes, you know, we may not have it everywhere it should be, but please, if you know of anyone that's looking for something specific, ask them to give us a call or send us an email so we can make sure that the information is getting out as it should. In the meantime, so while we're in the process of improving communication, please feel free to utilize, you know, giving us a call here at the office or sending us an email. We are definitely doing our best. I know I get a lot of emails. I'm sure my colleagues get a lot of emails, text messages, Facebook posts. So, you know, can't keep up with everything. So, and if I have not, if I've forgotten to respond to an email, I'm just telling you, I apologize now for the future and for the past, because that does happen with me. So just don't blame it on me. And then if you call the office, you'll probably get a better response, because then the ladies in the office will email me or text me. So, but I say all that to say, we are working to improve communication. I do agree with you, but there are other ways to get the information while we're in the process of improving communication. So, thank you all for being here tonight. I look forward to seeing you all at our next meeting. I hope everyone had a great Easter and enjoy the rest of your week. That is it for my comments.
Very good, very good. As the days go by, I'm more and more appreciative of Freeholder O'Connell that you're being retired and being able to go to all these events. I am decades away from retirement, and there will be a time when I will be able to go to some events. If I'm fortunate enough to live that long. But it is really remarkable. I know the Freeholder Board, Freeholder Hobson has done town halls all around the county, and we try to be at as many events as possible. Even recently, we were at an event, I think all three of us, and when somebody remarked, they're like, well, everybody decided to show up. And I'm like, sometimes there happens to be an event that fits all of our schedule, if it's an evening one. Sometimes, unfortunately, they're really notable, worthy events, but we all have our jobs and can't really get out. But as Freeholder Housen said, we have full-time county employees that are here, and they are very, very good. I know Christine and Charlene are right on top of things. They get an email, they get a call, they get a notice. We get a call, message right away, forward of the email saying something, you can respond, you want us to respond, and so on. But we are there, through online, phone line, and even our CFO had this time put out office hours for the whole budget discussion this year, and several people took benefit of that, so that's really good. And she was even there on Thursday before the Easter. It's things like little things that we do, being out there in the community, having phone lines and all the communication channels open. We are doing our best, but at any time, if there's someone that you run into, please feel free to connect them directly with us. Let's see. Yep, Sheriff, great event. Unfortunately, I could not make it, but I saw the pictures. Wonderful, wonderful job. Let's see. Trenton Bridge, we have no update outside what Director Pulliam had mentioned a few weeks ago. We do not have any plans to either build a pedestrian or vehicular bridge, but one thing we do know for sure, that the bridge needs to be demolished for the safety purposes. After that, it all comes down to money, and come budget time, you ask us for money, we're hiding. It is a tremendous task to put together a budget and also be respectful of the county taxpayers. And we are the highest tax state, so that's always back in our minds. At the end of the day, we are taxpayers ourselves, so we're very, very mindful. But $25 to $35 million, I think, was the cost for that bridge at that time. I do not have any update on that. Let's see, Pemberton, same way, I do not have any update on that. Outside the board is an independent board, though it is appointed by the governor and the Freeholder board. This majority has not made a single appointment to that board. And we cannot run studies and do the workings on a property that we do not own. Doesn't matter if you donate it to somebody, or give it cheap, 60, 70 years ago. There's no way we can just go back and ambush them and say sign the papers. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work. Let's see, Dr. Conway, we are really, really happy to have him on board. Health Department does more than just inspections of the food establishments, the weights. We have medical examiner, we have animal control group, which I have come to see in Chemung area for the last year and this year, how the work that they do, how critical it is to be there, first responders, to evaluate and designate the spaces for the animals to go to in those cases. I know they have been really busy this year with the air quality control over in the Burlington area and with the Alcon across the river, and all the vaccines they provide, all the testing they do. But we are really, I think we're excited. We're definitely excited to have Dr. Conway on board and a health practitioner to actually lend his expertise to the department. And hopefully we're able to do more and more promotion of our county services in that regard. Okay, and okay.
Smithville Bridge?
Smithville Bridge, we will be opening soon, I believe, because of the weather. At one point now the weather has been good. There should have been a surface work done at the end. So I don't have any update yet. Once I have an update, I know that was the last status we had. I will be more than happy to walk across it with my bike, my kids, and really, I know we get calls from the East Hampton and the municipal electors there too. It is inconvenient and it has been years. Unfortunately, it just all has to take time. Okay, hopefully it's done soon. I will make an update, Dr. Pauline will make an update once we have one. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to the directors and everybody else coming in. We had a nice easy meeting today. At this point, I look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Ayes have it.